after traveling there ourselves and talking to so many of you in this community. Rome rewards the prepared traveler, but it punishes the unprepared one. So in this video, we're covering 6 things that will genuinely make or break your trip. Timing, tickets, getting around, eating without getting ripped off, staying safe, and the free stuff that most tourists completely walk right past. This is the first video in our new Watch Before You Go series because we believe the best trip starts before you ever board the plane. And hey, if you've already been to Rome, drop a comment below with the one thing you wish you'd known before your first visit. Our community always makes these videos better. Okay, andiamo. First thing, timing. Because when you go to Rome, changes everything about your experience. Here's what nobody says loud enough. July and August are brutal. We are talking 95-degree heat, shoulder-to-shoulder crowds at every single major attraction. Prices, hotels, tours, they're all noticeably higher. If that's when you're going, now you know what you're signing up for. We recommend these sweet spots, late March through May. Gorgeous weather in the 60s and 70s. The city is blooming with flowers, and the lines are actually manageable. October and early November are equally great. Warm enough to be comfortable, summer crowds have cleared out, and the light in Rome in October is honestly just stunning. Now here's the budget angle, and this is where Wayne and I love to dig in. Flights from the US to Rome around $500 to $700 are absolutely possible. And if you are a points and miles enthusiast, you can book business class for 70,000 miles. Tuesdays and Thursday departures tend to be cheaper than weekends. We have a full video on that in our library. I'll put the link in the description because the right credit card strategy can literally pay for your flights. Timing tip for the sites themselves, get there early. Like 8 o'clock in the morning, the Colosseum opens at 9 and the Vatican opens at 7. The first hour is magical, but by 11 a.m., you are in a sea of tour groups. This is not an exaggeration. Build your mornings around early entry. And speaking of getting in, this next section is critical. Don't skip it. The single biggest rookie mistake in Rome? Not booking tickets in advance. We are going to save you from that right now. If you book through Get Your Guide or Viator, they have refundable tickets up to 24 hours before the tour time. Book refundable tickets. The Colosseum, go directly to Viator, Get Your Guide, Crown Tours. You can even go to their official website, colosseo.it. That's the official site. You can book there also. Do not buy from people walking around outside, especially the ones holding up the sign, skip the line. Some of those tickets are invalid. This is either a scam or massively overpriced. Your official ticket includes the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and Palatine Hill. That is 3 historic sites for one price. Most people don't even realize that. Now, how far ahead should you book those? Peak season, May through September, book 4 to 6 weeks out. I know that sounds extreme, but it's not. The Vatican museums, you can go to Viator, Get Your Guide, Crown Tours, or you can go to the official website, museavatican.va. I will put the links to all of these down in the description below. Without a reservation, the line at the Vatican can be 3 hours long. With a reservation, you can walk right past it. Another budget tip we love, Vatican museums are completely free on the last Sunday of every month. First come, first serve, and yes, it gets crowded. But if your dates line up with that Sunday, plan your trip around that. The Pantheon. You must now have a ticket. This is a relatively new thing. It's €5. It's totally worth booking online. It's simple and it's fast. The Borghese Gallery. This one surprises people. It's timed entry only with a maximum of 360 visitors at a time. Book it or miss it. And please don't miss it. It is one of the most extraordinary art collections in the world. The Trevi Fountain. You don't need a ticket, but pack your patience. Go at 7 a.m. or after 11 p.m. Midday is a wall of people and you'll barely see the fountain. And now they've constructed this scaffolding where you have to kind of walk across, and it's a lot. So definitely go early or go late. Here's something that surprises a lot of first-timers. Rome is incredibly walkable. The Colosseum, the Pantheon, the Trevi Fountain, the Spanish Steps are all within a 30-minute walk of each other. We organize every Rome trip the same way, and it works every time. We actually plan our days around where things are in the city. We call them zones. So our first zone is ancient Rome. That day we'll do the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, Palatine Hill. We'll just stay there all day. And that is included in one ticket. Day 2 is more Centro. We'll go to the Pantheon, Piazza Navona, Campo de' Fiori, Trevi Fountain. Day 3, Zone 3, is the Vatican. The museums, St. Peter's Basilica, Castel Sant'Angelo, all that can be done in one day. Walk everything within each zone. You'll save money, you'll see more, and you will actually feel the city. When we were on our Vatican day, we came across a market, largest market we had ever been to in Rome, and it was absolutely delicious, interesting, and very inexpensive. When you do need a metro, line A and B, a 48-hour transit pass is smart. Okay, here's the warning I was telling you about, the famous bus 64. This is marketed as a very cheap tour because you can get on this bus and just ride around the whole city, and that is true. This bus runs between Termini Station and the Vatican, but it is the most pickpocketed bus in Rome. Keep your bag in front of you, keep your phone in your pocket, just stay aware and you'll be fine. Taxis are metered and reliable. Ubers work too. What you want to avoid are the unmarked cars approaching you at the airport offering flat rate rides. That flat rate is almost always 2 or 3 times what a metered cab costs. Look for the official taxi stand, white cars, meters running. Quick pause here. If you're getting value from this, please hit subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell. We are building out this Watch Before You Go city by city playlist, and our library is already packed with tools on budget travel, packing smart, and maximizing points and miles. The next video is coming soon, and you don't want to miss it. Now to eating in Rome. This part will save you money. Rome has some of the best food in the world. It also has some of the most tourist trap restaurants in Europe. Here's how to tell the difference. Rule number 1, if the menu has pictures and someone standing outside trying to wave you in, keep walking. The best trattorias in Rome do not chase their customers. Watch for the coperto, the cover charge. It's usually €1.50 to €3 per person, and it shows up automatically on your bill. It's completely legal, it's totally standard, but it catches you off guard. Some places also add a separate service charge. Check the menu before you sit down or simply ask. Rule number 3, eat lunch like a local. The Menu del Giorno set lunch menu is everywhere in Rome. 2 or 3 courses for €12 to €15. That same meal at dinner, easily double the price. This is one of our favorite budget strategies in any Italian city. Eat a really nice lunch, and then in the evening, get a snack or some street food and a gelato. The coffee culture here, espresso at the bar is always cheaper than espresso at the table. But sometimes you want to sit down, and that's great. Just expect it to cost a little more. Stand at the bar, order, drink it in about 45 seconds like a local, pay €1.20 to €1.50, and move on. Sit down at the table, it doubles, but who cares? You're in Rome. Gelato. If the gelato is piled high in big colorful mounds, it's got artificial color and fillers. Real gelato is stored in flat metal containers with lids. One more thing. If bread and olives arrive at your table without you asking, you can send them back. They will appear on your bill if you eat them. Just a polite "no grazie" is completely fine. But if you want the bread and olives, and where else would you want bread and olives more than Rome? Let's talk about the stuff people don't love to say out loud. Rome is safe. We have been there multiple times and felt completely comfortable. But like any major tourist city, there are specific things to watch for. The bracelet vendors, especially near the Colosseum and the Spanish Steps. Men will approach you and start tying a friendship bracelet on your wrist before you even register what's happening. and then they will demand payment. The move is simple. Don't let anything touch your wrist. Keep walking. Put your hands in your pockets if you need to. Eye contact is optional, but I typically think not looking them directly in the eye seems to work. The Metro, Bus 64. Use a crossbody bag with a zipper. Don't put your phone on a restaurant table. Don't hang your bag from your chair. Wayne and I travel with a money belt for our passports and backup cards every single trip. No exceptions. If one of those things in our packing system, that is just non-negotiable. Consider putting half of your money and half of your credit cards in the safe and only taking the other half with you when you're out about in the city. Okay, this is my favorite section because some of the most extraordinary things in Rome will cost you absolutely nothing. The churches, every church in Rome is free to enter, and some of these churches contain Michelangelo and Caravaggio originals that would be under glass in a museum anywhere else on earth. San Luigi dei Francesi has 3 Caravaggio paintings. Santa Maria Maggiore is breathtaking. The Basilica of San Clemente lets you walk down through literal layers of Roman history. A medieval church built on top of an early Christian church built on top of a Roman temple. And yes, it's all free. The Colosseum ticket we talked about earlier, it includes the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. So when we say you're getting 3 sites for one price, that's not just their marketing, it's actually what they do. Use it. Spend a full half day in that zone alone. Trastevere at dusk. The neighborhood is authentic, beautiful, and walkable. We stayed here on our last trip to Rome, and it was absolute magic. The restaurants are genuinely good. The streets are cobblestone and candlelit, and just walking through it as the evening lights come on is one of the most travel moments you will never forget. Get there around 6 p.m. On Saturday nights, there's a sing-along in the square. Gianicolo Hill. Almost nobody talks about it. It's the best panoramic view of Rome, completely free, and it's in the Trastevere neighborhood as well. The Aventine Keyhole. This one is almost a secret. You line up, look through a small keyhole in a wooden door, and through a perfectly framed arch of trees, you see St. Peter's Dome in the distance. It takes 30 seconds. It is one of the coolest things we have ever seen in any city we visited. Don't skip it. So there you have it. The stuff we genuinely wish someone had sat us down and told us before our first trip to Rome. Time your visit right. Spring or fall if you can. Book your tickets weeks in advance. Don't gamble on walk-up availability. Organize by zone so you're walking, not scrambling. Eat lunch like a local and watch for that Caperto charge. Keep your bag secure on the Metro and Bus 64 and give yourself permission to just wander because the free stuff in Rome is extraordinary. Rome is genuinely one of the most magnificent cities on this planet. Go in prepared and it will absolutely blow your mind. Now 2 things before we go. Drop a comment right below. Have you been to Rome? What was your biggest surprise? If you're planning your first trip, tell us when you're going. We love connecting with our community. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because this Watch Before You Go series is just getting started. We're building it out city by city, and our library already has everything you need on booking flights for almost nothing using points and miles, packing a carry-on that handles 2 weeks, and finding the hidden value in every destination we visit. The link to our Points and Miles playlist is right below, and our next Watch Before You Go video is coming soon. We'll see you there. We appreciate you sticking with us to the end of this video. We share travel tips, packing videos, and tools for navigating the Points and Miles ecosystem. If this interests you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.